favorite part today was correcting him. How to say neighbor. Neighbor.
Neighbor. Like a good neighbor.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We sound the same.
Welcome back to the Backwards Hat CMO Pod, and we are continuing our series on great ads. Today, we're taking a look at the State Farm action featured commercial with one Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito, and of course, Jake from State Farm. USA Today actually had this as the top commercial spot during the Super Bowl a couple weeks ago. Let's go ahead and play some more of the behind-the-scenes look at the State Farm spot.
When the world needed a good neighbor, he was there.
Action.
I'm playing, like in all my action movies, someone that saves everyone's life. Give me 5 on that one. State Farm stepped it up. They said, the hell with this commercial stuff. Let's just do an action movie.
And action.
And so who did they enlist? The most extraordinary action heroes.
Rolling? What is he kidding? We just got here.
I absolutely love the action approach that State Farm took to the actual production of this commercial. But enough from me. Let's hear what Jake from State Farm actually has to say.
Agent State Farm, I think it's going to be the biggest action-packed movie that anyone's ever seen.
I mean, just to give you one sequence, I just came off the helicopter, flying through canyons.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Cut.
I think we nailed it. In the 70s, when I was trying to get into movies, they said it would never happen because you have an accent.
Like a good neighbor. This lady is in labor.
I don't have that much of an accent. And now all of a sudden, the accent is becoming an asset rather than a liability.
Neighbor.
It's Burr. Like a good neighbor.
You're fired.
No,
You
please.
can get me some coffee first, then you're fired.
So it just shows to you, never listen to the naysayers.
One of the coolest things about shooting with Arnold was how much energy he brought to the role.
Bah!
Arnold and I had a nice one-on-one session, and I think we explored some Meisner technique.
Neighbor.
The thing about Arnold and I is we like each other a lot.
Go sidekick.
We FaceTime each other out of the blue, and we like working together. So anytime we can do it, I'm here. What are friends for? My favorite part today was correcting him. How to say neighbor. Neighbor.
Neighbor. Like a good neighbor.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We sound the same.
He said he did it better. I said he did it better.
I'm an English professor now.
But I think we both did it great. Jake was a nice guy. In person, he was bigger, taller, movie magic.
Biggest thing that attracted me to the script was it makes you sit on your seats and holding on. Oh my God. But at the same time, it's funny as hell.
And that's what Agent State Farm is about.
Be a good neighbor. State Farm will be there. Do you always read your questions off a piece of paper?
Okay, coming up next, we're going to play the full spot for you. This is the 1-minute version of the actual commercial. Now, essentially getting Danny DeVito, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and of course, Jake from State Farm together to create a commercial spot for the Super Bowl was absolutely a brilliant plan by the marketing team and the agency that State Farm actually worked with. It also had several points of the campaign that they started to roll out prior to the actual Super Bowl spot. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. And if you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet to the Backwards Hat CMO Pod, please go ahead and do so. let's go ahead and roll the complete commercial for you next.
Thank you, Agent State Farm.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Cut. Hey, Arnold, I'm hearing neighbor. It's neighbor.
That's what I said. Neighbor.
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 Hey, let's go again.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Cut.
Now what?
Neighbor.
Yeah, neighbor. Just like it's written on the paper. Neighbor! That was the sheep. And you know it.
Neighbor.
Still no.
Neighbor!
Neighbor.
Bah!
Burr.
Bah! This lady's in labor!
Cut. Arnold, got a bit of a script change. You'll love this.
Thank you, Agent State Farm.
Like a
Good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You are a backstabber.
I am a backstabber.
You've been listening to the Backwards Hat CMO podcast with Dave Daba, presented by Stealth.ltd.